Hey guys, welcome back to another ETS ride. We got us a load of nuts right here out of UPS where we delivered last time, going up to Grimsby. So we're gonna be still staying in the UK for a bit. We're in Birmingham right now, so it's about a 200 click ride, so it's not too bad. So we'll get started on this, see what we can accomplish. So let me see if I can get this. Oh, first push and I get it in gear. I'm using a button box that was given to me by a friend, and it's the farm sim side panel. It came with that wheel setup. He just didn't want it anymore. And the buttons act up sometimes. They don't want to work sometimes. For example, I even show you this. My engine brake is on this button here. And I mean, it's working right now, but sometimes it'll do weird stuff. Maybe the buttons are starting to kind of wear in correctly. But I'm thinking I need to pull this box out of here, unplug it, and work on it. See if I can get it to work a little better. Maybe clean up some of the contacts or something. But we still got traffic off, so I'm just gonna kind of run lights and do what I want to do. We'll pretend we're like GTA, but you know, without all the cussing and goofy missions. Can't shoot nobody either. And I do like that game. It has a cool storyline, but I do know that the language gets a little bit much at times. Anyways, let's do this right here and see what we can see along the way. Right now I'm having pretty much fun doing this and checking everything out. So we got some music playing on Spotify. I know you guys can't hear it, but I got that playing quietly, and I was on a premium plan and I'm not anymore. So now I'm getting the advertisements, so they throw me off at times. It's like, what the heck is, there was an advertisement earlier that sounded like horse hoofs or like an animal walking around. I'm like, what the heck is that noise? And all of a sudden it's an advertisement. I'm like, oh, some of these advertisements, I tell you, they get wonky and weird over time. They just, I don't know. I don't get them. But I figured tonight, while I'm doing these recordings tonight, because it's about 1:45 in the morning for me right now. I figure I'll do these in this truck, and then I may switch over to the Freightliner, but I got to do some looking at it because it's got the motor I don't care for. I mean, it's nice. It's got 1,000 horsepower motor, so it's got a lot of power to pull like heavy loads and stuff. But the engine brake is so annoying in that truck. So if I'm going to drive it with that motor, that means I got to turn the engine brake and leave it off, never use it. And I like using the engine brake. It's just realistic to me. The engine brake on this truck is super quiet. Um, and I noticed that with all the European trucks, they're real quiet. That was another law I looked into. So in the US, engine brakes, also known as compression brakes, um, in the US, the only time that the brakes are really regulated or restricted is usually in a lot of the towns and cities. And it just kind of varies. Oh, I got the brakes too hard that time. And so they'll say like no compression brake, no engine brake, things like that. And that's just in the cities. And there's even some mountain ranges that's gotten stupid with it because that's where engine brakes really shine is on mountain grades. And it helps prevent brake fade and brake overheat, which leads to brake failure and causes a lot of truckers to end up in that runaway ramp where you've probably seen videos on. So in Europe, from what I looked at in Europe, pretty much the all the countries inside of Europe, for the most part, they just have a countrywide engine brake restriction or regulation. And from the way that I've read it and the way I'm understanding it is compression brakes in Europe um, not being loud. They can be used almost anywhere, even in the cities. but they cannot be loud, and there's a decibel number to it. We're good on fuel. So there's a decibel limit to it. And what I found interesting as I read through some of the footnotes of it was that even some of the truck's factory engine brakes, I guess maybe some of the older models, I gotta slow down here. Holy crap. These are ugly. That some of the trucks with factory exhaust still are too loud, have too high of a decibel rating to be able to use their engine brakes in that country. And I found that kind of weird, you know, but I guess it's kind of happened. I mean, I would imagine that most of our older trucks here in the US, and what I'm talking about is probably like the 2000 to 2010 variations, they're probably too loud for Europe. But I mean, this is just a game, so in here, you know, you can kind of do in an ATS, you can do kind of what you want. Even in areas in ATS where they have no engine brake signs, there's no violations for it at all, no fines at all. I mean, the fines in the game are, you know, the headlight fine now, obviously damage, um, you know, at a way station, uh, any kind of way station fines, basically from fatigue to overweight, things like that. And obviously, if you get into an accident, you know, hitting things, you know, other cars mostly, you know, there's fines in that. So it's interesting how the fines work. And ATS is, you know, ATS and ATS, they're both the same as far as a lot of that stuff. But, you know, when it came to using engine brake for me in the big truck and even in my pickup, you know, if the sign said to not run my engine brakes, I would try not to, unless it was a mountain grade, and then it just kind of depended upon the truck I was in. If the exhaust was pretty quiet and pretty tame and it wasn't very loud, then I would use it if nobody was around me, you know. Of course, I don't think most of the general public's gonna turn you in for using something that helps you, you know, operate a vehicle, but you never know these days. Here in the States, we have no idle laws for anything that's over what they call 5 horse motors. So you can have a generator for AC and heat, which is mostly like APU mounted units on a truck. So provide heat and AC for when the engine's off. Um, but in states like New York and New Jersey, they have, you know, the no idle laws, and they're real strict on it, to the point that, I mean, even officers will go into the truck stops to write you tickets, you know, wake you up to write you a ticket, more or less, which I think is kind of BS. But now they have this deal. I don't know exactly what it's called, but basically it's a group of people that can make money by going into truck stops and reporting trucks that are violating laws by idling and things like that. And I just think that's pure BS, in my opinion, to put it nicely. I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, these ticket cameras. I don't agree with them. I think that an officer should be standing there handing me the ticket, not a, you know, a computer that took a picture and is going to mail it to me. Wow, we lost a lot of speed on that hill. Holy crap, is that a stout one? This isn't a heavy load either. This is only 18 tons. And for my American friends, that probably translates out to probably 45 to 50,000 pounds. So it's not super heavy. Probably closer to 40. I'm thinking right, maybe 41 to 42,000. Anyhow, I just think it's a BS that, you know, ticket cameras and people being able to, and these are civilians, are not trained in, you know, policing at all, but they're able to make money by reporting truck drivers and probably other people that violate law. And they're mostly targeting truckers that are sleeping at rest areas, truck stops, and the sort, that are running their truck for whatever reason. Now, in a lot of those states, you're allowed to idle your truck for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, whether it is to heat or cool your cab a little bit, or to start your day. Typically, when you start a big truck, you got to build air pressure, let the motor warm up. Some of the trucks are actually programmed to where you can't just start the motor and just release the parking brakes and go. It will shut the truck back off. It wants to let the truck run for at least 5 minutes before you release the brakes and go. So sorry about my throat tonight, guys. Oh my god, these videos are gonna sound like garbage. Me clearing my throat and everything else. I'll slow down here. I'm gonna get a drink. And I'm drinking tea. I'm trying to get away from the sodas, and I've noticed that it'll make me feel real thirsty, like it's my throat's dry. I think that's part of it. I'm drinking unsweet tea to top it off. So if I drink sweet tea, it'll probably be better. Sweet tea would be better than the sodas. We all know that. Sodas are horrible for you. My God, do they taste good? Mm-mm-mm. My favorite's Dr. Pepper. I like Mountain Dew. I like Coca-Cola, typically with a little rum in it. I'm a rum and Coke guy. But I'll do a whiskey and Coke too, or an old fashioned. But I ain't been drinking much here lately. You know, back in my younger days, in my 20s and 30s, I guess, you know, I drank all the time and partied with friends and all that stuff. And nowadays, I still drink, but I don't drink very often, just here and there. This looks like an ugly curve. Let's slow down for this. Here's the engine brake, just so you guys know. If you've ever heard my engine brake in ATS, it is stupid loud at times. Not too bad on the in-game motors. That's what I've been trying to run. Oh boy, nice little hill pull. Well, this is pretty up here. Look at that, guys. Let me see. Let me see if I can go outside without killing us. Let's see. What button is that? Nope, not that button. Oh, I don't have that one. Never mind. I was thinking about ATS. I've got the pivot camera over there. I need to get that for ETS so I can show it around. So you guys got a good view of the side of the truck. But I mean, that's pretty over there. That's real pretty. All right, let's watch where we're going here. Get to looking at the view and you end up upside down. That's never a good thing. We're coming into town here. This still feels weird driving on this side of the road. I'm surprised I'm doing as good as I am about remember to be on this side of the road, but it is definitely weird. Welcome to Grimsby. Grimsby discovered. All right. Let's see, make a turn here. I know most of you guys probably want more serious style videos, but sometimes it's just fun just to do arcade mode and just cruise and have fun, you know. But then other times it's nice to just have the traffic and everything to be more realistic and all that stuff. Where's the marker back there? Right there. All right. Let's get this thing part. Might be able to cover from that. I think this trailer still has a steering axle on it because it screws me up backing up sometimes. I guess I am in the spot. I'm in enough. So we're gonna take it. I know it's ugly, but we're gonna take it. It's starting to feel shaky, so I think it's time to take a break and get something in my stomach, munch on something. Do that between videos or something. So I might record another one. We'll see how things go. But this thing down. How bad did we do? Oh yeah, nice and ugly. Nobody's hooking up that wagon next to me. Oh man. All right. Well, guys, it was fun. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one. We'll see you.